Let's get more now on the concerns about cyberbullying after the Prime Minister called on users to boycott sites that don't provide adequate safeguards. David Cameron was responding to the case of Hannah Smith, the 14-year-old who died after receiving online abuse via the social networking site ask.fm. Joining me now are Ross Hendrey from the Office of the Children's Commissioner for England, and from Cambridge we're joined by the expert in cyberstalking, Jennifer Perry. Thank you both very much indeed for joining me this evening. Ross, to you first of all, anonymity and distance is created by this form of abuse. It offers protection, I suppose, a degree of protection for the bully. How do we take that protection away from those who would choose to bully others?
Well, I think it's very interesting, first of all, to know that Ask.fm actually does have a button where you can remove the facility to post comments anonymously, and lots of young people are not choosing to click that, so we need to ask why that's the case. And it's absolutely the case that you're very right, Anita, to say that there is a distinction that adults make between online relationships and offline real world relationships, if you like, whereas young people blur that distinction and they find it very difficult to differentiate. So
potentially if websites basically remove the option to be anonymous, that could be a part of the answer?
It could, absolutely. Of course, you still then have the risk of people creating false identities, and we know that around 50% of young people have been contacted online by people who've made up a false identity.
Jennifer Perry, to you next. I mean, it's interesting, isn't it, that the driving force behind change on this may not be ethical considerations, but perhaps commercial considerations, the pressure coming from would-be advertisers who will say, we don't want to be associated with this website.
Well, I think it's more effective to come from commercial. The reality is that abuse and generates traffic. And there is a problem between the social networks. They make money on traffic. So anytime they increase their safety, they reduce their profits. And it's a real problem that we need to address.
Is it feasible to expect these social networking sites to moderate everything? I mean, they couldn't possibly have the number of staff to moderate the potential traffic that is coming through their websites.
No, there isn't a silver bullet to this answer. It isn't like we can go to social networks and say flip the switch and it'll solve everything. Young people engage in risky behavior. They act naughty. And offline, they act naughty online. But the difference is we know how teenagers act, and these services should be building and developing their social networks knowing the type of behavior teenagers are engaged with. And I don't think that's happened at all. And I think if they looked at the risks and threats and modified their products based on that consideration versus based on revenue, it would offer more safety not only for teenagers but for everyone.
So that's one side of this coin. Ross Hendrey, at the Office of the Children's Commissioner for England, you say that you're moving from trying to teach children not to bully one another, because that has always gone on. Rather, you're trying to teach children how to react and respond. What are the best techniques for children who are on the receiving end of this cyberbullying? Well,
I think, first of all, it's worth remembering that we can do a lot to try to reduce the amount of bullying, but bullying will always go on, and it's about how you react to that. Also, whilst it's commented quite right to say that the comment quite rightly says that young people do bully one another, that's very low numbers engaged in that type of activity. It's somewhere between 5 and 10% have admitted to bullying other young people, whereas it's over half to 3/4 who have been bullied. It's important to understand that young people are going on these websites often because they're looking for self-esteem and for people to be nice to them and looking for kind and nice things to be said about them. When they then receive nasty comments and malicious comments, they don't know how to react to that, and they take it very deeply, react very deeply and personally to those attacks. What we've got to do is build young people's self-esteem and build young people's resilience to be able to cope with that. We also need very good, healthy relationships between parents and young people and their children, and between young people and their teachers, so that young people know they can go to trusted adults to talk about this, and those adults don't question what those young people have done, but actually affirm that they should not be putting up with this kind of activity.
Another question to you, Jennifer. Do you think these websites, these social networking sites, have a duty of care, or are they mainly the conduit for people who would abuse others online? And is the answer lying on the other side of the coin with parents and with children themselves, with teenagers?
No, I think these websites have absolutely a duty of care to their users on their websites. And I've been in many meetings where I've seen social networks come in and overstate their privacy and settings and their abuse procedures and minimize the risk and threats. And we need an independent review of these measures of privacy settings and things to look at the risk and not just take their word for it, and provide recommendations from an independent point of view, I think.
Okay, Jennifer Perry there in Cambridge and Ross Hendrey with me in the studio. Thank you both very much.